What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the HallBall Podcast. This is episode 2, and we're fresh off the NBA draft. Eager to talk about it, eager to talk about some trades, maybe even lack thereof, and much, much more. What's going on, Matt? What's going on, Ty?
What's going on?
What's up, D-Nice? How are we?
We're good. We're good. Do you know what's so funny? I feel like I had some things with the NBA draft that I was thinking about, and I wanted to say them, but I was like, actually, let's just save it for when I talk to them now, like once a week, every week. This is so I had a lot of thoughts on some of the stuff from prior to the draft, how there were kind of no trades during the NBA draft, which was I thought they were hyping it up a lot, like Zion, Dame, all this turmoil, all this like, and most of the big trades were 3-4 days prior. I think I think Bertans got traded during the draft. I don't think there were anything crazy. So let's get right into it. First, I rewatched last episode and I realized that we were talking about the Wizards a lot and what they were going to look like. Well, something we haven't talked about yet is the new change of Kristaps Porzingis being loaded off, sent over to Boston. At first, everyone, this weird ass shit. At first, for Malcolm Brogdon, 3-team trade, Malcolm Brogdon and a slew of things. But then Malcolm Brogdon didn't clear a physical, so then they opt to get someone else out of the trade because if Brogdon's not there, I forgot who the original trade was even for. But then, who are the other two people that got in the trade, boys?
It was Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
and
Grizzlies hopped in late. That's who subbed in.
and Gallinari and
I think you-
Muscala to the Wizards as
Didn't
well.
you guys get Tyus Jones too?
Tyus Jones, another point guard.
He's
But-
a bucket. I'm not gonna lie.
But here's what's going on. Yeah, we picked up Jordan Poole
That too,
in
yeah.
this as well. So this is there's a lot going on. So obviously Chris Paul was in the original part of the deal, but then Chris Paul gets flipped for Jordan Poole. And KP is gone. They bring in Tyus Jones, they bring in Jordan Poole, and a slew of picks. Our new Wizards fan, what a start to your fandom. What are your thoughts?
No, we are going to be so bad next year, but that's exactly where we need to be. Tyus Jones, I like it. He's a good backup, basically. Good enough to make us lose some games, so I like that. CP3, that man was never coming to DC, so good thing we got something out of that deal. We got a pick as well, I want to say, for that, maybe a first. But also with Beal, we were able to get that ended up becoming a 3-person or 3-team trade with us swapping the 7th round pick for the 8th round pick and gave them some of those second rounders.
Whole lot of swaps.
Yeah, that trade actually is pretty good now looking at it with 4 first-round swaps. Those first couple of years are going to be, kind of lower ends, but those 28 and 30, I mean, those are going to be some old men still tied to that team by then. So, those might be some good picks.
So we pray for the downfall. Obviously, having someone else's pick is such a weird thing that because it's like you're not even in control. So you're just waiting to see where your pick lines up. It's literally like the fucking draft. This guy is ripping the toy right now, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going.
Blotted it out.
But no, we won't. I don't know how to fucking do that. All right. But yeah, to me, I know you're thinking a lot about the fucking tanking. As a guy who was supporting a bad team with the Nets, I was more of the optimistic guy. For me, if through your lens, me trying to be in your shoes, I look at Jordan Poole. I'm like, you're kind of 24 with a title.
Let me rephrase it. We're ready to tank, but we do have some young players that could turn into something maybe now. Jordan Poole, he'll probably shoot like 30 buckets a game, maybe get 20 of those. He could be Bradley Beal again on a much cheaper deal. I really, that's probably not that different. So
I mean, I don't hate it. I love Tyus Jones too. Kind of grew up a Duke stan. I'm kind of off of it because I don't really pay attention to college basketball that much. But um, yeah, Tyus Jones was one of the last teams I watched, and that like Jahlil Okafor team. He was a very good player, and what he's become in the NBA was it took a few years of development, but very solid defense for someone of his size, and could be a spark plug if needed to be a six man. Like that's in the repertoire of this guy. Good playmaker. Ty Jones could really be
He
nice.
Key thing as
he
well.
was
That man was passed around in our fantasy league. He was everywhere. He was a great bench player to take off waivers.
well. He also took over when Ja was gone.
And he
And I
will be.
mean,
Mhm.
he dropped I think maybe 140 and maybe 130 point game. I mean, this guy can get buckets.
I mean, I'm loving the Wizards a little bit here,
Uh,
man. And we'll talk about
I'm
them a
actually
little
enjoying
more
it
in the
too.
draft. We're gonna talk about them
Yeah.
a little more in the draft, but Wizards are looking kind of interesting. Interesting. I still don't know what the big men look like. The big men on that team are gonna be interesting.
We'll find them later.
Is Gafford? It's Gafford, right?
Yeah, he's
Like
still here, 24. He's not terrible. We can keep him
yeah.
around.
That's just nuts.
Well,
Okay.
I actually like this CP3 addition to the Warriors.
Yeah, we can go that way.
Steph. All right, let's be honest. Steph has been the number 2 for maybe a couple years now.
The
He's
number
not a
two.
true point anymore. No, not a number 2. He plays shooting guard, not a number 2 option.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. So
He's
he
number
was
1 option, of course.
okay.
But
So you're saying
he's
he's a
kind of
shooting
fallen
guard.
back into the Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? Into like how
The
Kyrie Irving was
scoring
a 1,
point
got
guard.
bumped up, and yeah. But
hmm
he's obviously the number 1. He'll never be a number 2 unless he, MJ
hmm
age. But I mean, they have somebody that like, you can't really call Chris Paul a veteran, but he is because he's never won a ring. But you know what I mean?
He is definitely a veteran. I mean, it's like 20 years.
I know that
Yeah, but
they play positionless. All right. Yeah, he is a veteran. But
yeah,
but
but you know what I mean though.
yeah, my opinion about that is Klay Thompson and Steph Curry being the front court was always something they play positionless too, so Clay could like slide down, but how he plays defensively, I think he would just struggle a little more even against like some bigger guys. He's not really fast like laterally anymore. He's getting blown by. Maybe his like size could fare better with the bigger defenders, but because a lineup was like what would their lineup be? Their ID lineup it'd be CP, Steph, Clay, Wiggins,
Wiggins.
Draymond.
That's
Dude,
that's kind
like
of
so
scary.
like yeah, Steph Curry could do well with like off ball. Steph Curry is a very good player, a lot of motion, but
The
I
spacing would be so weird, though. It really would be, and that team defensively would be pretty bad. Besides Drake, so I don't.
Chris Paul is known to be a good defender. I don't know anymore. Klay Thompson has kind of lost it to me. Steph Curry's always been okay, but Wiggins, I don't know, would
Wiggins
be,
is a lot.
but he would be minimalized. He'd have to play the four in that lineup.
No, there
He
would be some huge
he'd have to
gaps.
guard. He'd have, you know what I'm saying? He'd have to guard the bigger guys, and that's where he won't be locks.
I think they
He
really
would
got
be guarding like the
ball. Really,
Wiggins
the
six man maybe throw in Draymond to the four. Looney center.
like that. I don't know. I mean, there's
I
definitely so
they
much.
started. Looney started against Sabonis.
Oh,
and
hey,
got
Looney.
like
They
20
go-
plus rebounds.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
The
I
good thing
think
about that lineup is good.
no. I'll let you finish.
The good thing about like that Warriors team is that like they make changes everywhere. Like they don't stick to one true lineup. They have like a set lineup, but like just like in the playoffs, like they're gonna bring out Looney, who's just a board monster against some people.
Yeah, but then they just lost Poole. Like I thought Poole was in there more than I thought Wiggins would stay. That's crazy that Poole's already gone. I still I'm kind of surprised by that move, but it is the contract. But Wiggins has a very similar. I don't know.
I
Interesting
mean,
call. Maybe it's
do we
what the other team wanted to.
he could be. They could get rid of him. You
Hmm.
can't rule that out.
Yeah, I agree. But
And Draymond, there's also no real guarantee. Sounds like
I
he
don't
probably
think he's
or more
he's
long
not
term.
going anywhere.
I kind of agree. But I mean, it's still up in the air. Um, I want the draft to be the bigger thing we discuss, but something I also want to mention today is James Harden declining his player option, which does open the door. That's a move that could actually be like rippling for the rest of the league. If he goes back to the Western Conference, I think the East will shift even. It's interesting. I think James Harden declining is maybe one of the bigger news stories I've heard in the last week, even more than that Chris Paul trade. I think that could do a lot. James Harden came off a season of like 22 and 12 or like 11 or he was still like being like maybe the best point guard in the league last year. Like playmaking wise. 22 and like 12 is incredible production, and he's declining because he could probably get more money. Is what he's gonna be like one of the highest earning players in the league by the end of everything. But I think that's a move that needs to be discussed. I want to hear your boys' opinions on this. Do you think he's going back to Houston, or do you think he's just gonna
Well,
re-sign?
to be honest, sources are kind of telling me that don't sleep on Harden to the Suns.
How
Don't
would that?
sleep on it.
How would that work?
Just
Position
saying.
Booker,
Positionless. We're in positionless basketball here.
Booker, Durant, Beal. They still have Aiden on the books, who would probably have to be in that trade somehow.
Yeah, they're definitely getting rid of Aiden.
I
For
don't see
sure.
I just saw
I
a
don't
story
think
where they're keeping Aiden.
Yeah, they just said they were keeping him and trying to work it
Did
out.
they?
Yeah, because nobody else wants him, bro.
Well, the Pacers wanted him a couple years ago.
Pacers are in rebuild mode. They don't need that contract. I don't
Well,
think that's
they're
they,
they're in a little better
I would,
position to
yeah.
rebuild too.
I would not say they're in a rebuild. I think they're on the come up.
I think they took a step with Tyrese.
Yeah, I think and they still have Buddy, Miles. I don't know if they're. I think. Oh yeah, are they free agents?
I don't know about Buddy. I don't know. I don't
I
know
should have
Buddy's
looked into that.
situation, but uh, Benedict Mathurin is
yeah,
also on that team. Like
he was
I,
also on everybody.
yeah, because people on Twitter were always saying that he's getting underutilized. They weren't really blaming him for bad play, but that's just Twitter. I think
Harden though.
he's going back to Houston.
Yeah, that's kind of boring. I think. I mean, they could technically sign and trade him still to somewhere else. I want to say, or no,
I don't
no,
know.
he would have had to opt in. So that's out of the question now if he truly
That
declined.
I think he wants to play for that coach too. That coach is good. The old Boston coach. I don't know how to.
Oh, Ime
How do you say
Udoka.
his name?
Ime
Yeah,
Udoka.
Yeah, because I think the plan
they probably hit the strip club.
what when they signed him, they were talking about how he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. He wants to be a playoff contention. So, and they were the worst team, so they gotta get some free agents this summer if that's going to be the plan.
I think it's just makes sense. He is definitely a guy through and through.
We'll talk about the Rockets a little more, man. But with who they drafted for, with Jalen Green, with Sengun, I don't know, man. Why can't the Rockets compete? Ah, I don't know. I don't know.
All right, let's.
I'm just talking shit. All right, now.
Do you guys have anything Marcus Smart or KP before we move on?
Let's think about Marcus Smart, because Marcus Smart was a little surprising.
Great.
Say that again.
That's going to be a great fit. He can help cover Ja being on his 25-game suspension. Probably a little leadership could be used on that team.
A guy who's been there, he's been everywhere except like holding the Larry O'Brien. He's a loud mouth. You know, he won't put up with a lot. In terms of like even what he brings to the team, like great defense on guards. We don't need to play Dylan Brooks anymore. Thank God.
Well,
yeah,
I
was gonna say that was Marcus Smart was a huge upgrade for Grizzlies over Dylan Brooks.
Defensive
Marcus
Player of the
Smart is
Year,
literally
like
10
a
times
year
better.
ago, 2 years ago now. Marcus Smart was so good, and I'm surprised Boston let him go. I thought that guy was gonna.
I thought he was retiring there.
I thought he embodied what they were trying to do, but you know,
he dyed his hair green. That's real.
It's kind of crazy, but I mean, KP's getting tossed around, but KP's going to be good, man. People have been sleeping on KP.
It's not a bad fit. A little bit more confusing. It's
I know you're ill-informed on KP because of what you said last time. You said he was a bona fide shooter, and if you watch him at all in the Wizards, you know that was not the case. KP was kind of rocking that shit in DC last year.
It was a decent season.
It was, but he was also like yamming on people again. When was the last time KP was yamming on people in the Knicks jersey?
I think the last time he
we can't. Oh, unfortunately, he is definitely injury prone as fuck.
Yeah,
overly.
Someone that long of legs, man. He's just a goner. But that's all I think I got about the trade. You guys good with that?
Yeah, I'm good on that one.
All right. I think that was all the news. Now let's talk about the NBA draft. Let's start in the biggest no-brainer. This man could have bought a house the day he saw the lottery. Victor Wembanyama goes to the San Antonio Spurs. I boldly predict at the end of last episode that the Spurs are going to be at their best a possible 6th seed, but I think in the playoffs nonetheless. I think Victor Wembanyama is someone I'm going to cheer for, someone I want to have a healthy season, just so I can see what he can do. And he looks like a bucket, man. You've never seen anything like it. You can't really call him a player comparison like that's even fair, because it's insane what I'm seeing this guy do. Not even in the G League, but against like professionals in France. People that like play this, they're in their 30s, are getting dunked on a missed 3-point attempt that the guy who's dunking on him shot. Like, it's the wingspan's disgusting. The 3-point shooting is insane, and someone that big should not be dribbling like that. But yeah, he's an 0-1 pick. Did it surprise anyone?
No.
Nope.
Do we even need to elaborate on this? What we think about Victor?
I mean, he's definitely great. The only thing is obviously injury concerns. I mean, guys like that, it's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of self-explanatory. I don't know if there's really much else to say besides that. Maybe rookie. Do you think he's gonna lock for that?
We have to see everyone play, but I call him the Vegas favorite without a doubt.
Yeah, be honest. Yeah, I gotta see him play against real people.
Real people.
Yeah,
people in France are fake.
National team.
I mean, okay, but let me finish. Okay, he's been playing against people in France. I mean, you know what I mean? He hasn't seen the league. I mean, the man is kind of built like, I don't know, a twig. I think he needs to get some body. I mean, who do you have guarding? Who is he guarding? Joel Embiid in the post?
Probably not.
In San Antonio?
Okay.
Not very well.
They traded Jacob. I don't even know who's on San Antonio anymore. I was
Yeah,
like,
he's
maybe
going to
he
be
doesn't
running the
need to be the
5.
guy. But is he going to be the
He's
rim
not
protector on
guarding these,
defense? We don't know. There's a lot of different
but
things.
he's not guarding these true Jokic. I mean, we saw him go to town on great centers. I mean, we're talking about this dude like he's already the same stature of LeBron James. People like he has no credibility in my book. I got to see him
Okay.
play.
Okay. You know, the people said the same thing about LeBron James. That's why he gets compared. People were saying,
It's
people
fair.
are getting mad. But I mean, I know what you're saying. But he's the obvious number one,
What was
right?
I
what was the one's like starting like line from the first season?
The
He was
cho-
like what 20,
the
10, and 5.
oh yeah, what was it? I forgot.
He could maybe do something like that. He's obviously not going to put up like 30, 10. Something
Hmm.
like
They're gonna play him hard too because of all the hype. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Vic.
you
But I
know Zion had just as much hype, if not
and
maybe the
he's
same or a little less. I mean, and look at him. You know what I mean? Like anything can happen with these players. Look at Chet. Hasn't even played an NBA game. But I mean, he's not comparable to these players. But you know what I mean, though.
hmm
Like, you never know what can happen with
Chet's
these.
eligible
I
for
mean,
Rookie of the Year this year, man. We'll see who's literally better.
yeah, we will.
They're in the same award. All right, let's
But
go past that. That's number one pick.
yeah,
Number
yeah.
two was a debate here. I want to know your opinions
Brandon Miller.
about Brandon Miller. You start, Matt. With
Okay, this guy said Paul George is a goat. He said the Hornets are going to be in the finals.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Who is
yeah,
this guy?
yeah.
Who is this guy?
New
Where has he
age
been the
media,
past
man.
20 years?
I mean, he's pretty good nonetheless. I mean, played on Bama. He averaged 18.8, 5.2, and 2.1 on rebounds and assists. So I mean, he's pretty good. And that was just as a freshman, so he's a one and doneer. So I don't know. I think he'll be pretty good. Now, I personally like Scoot Henderson a little bit better, but I'm sure Charlotte knows what they're doing.
I think
Yeah,
it's a weirder fit with Scoot and LaMelo than LaMelo and Brandon. Brandon 6'9", kind of a scorer. Scoot, a bit of a playmaker, 6'3", a little small guy.
Yeah, it would definitely be a replica if they went that way.
Yeah, I think Brandon is a better fit. I think Brandon is an insane bucket, super athlete. I heard that he had a late push. I thought people were always saying Scoot number two for the longest, and I heard in workouts that he's like just dominating, just absolutely looking phenomenal in front of all these teams. And at Bama, you saw it too. They were one of the best Bama teams I've watched in recent memory. Probably not in the tournament, but at least during the season. I barely watch college basketball, and I feel like I would hear about Brandon Miller and like the guy Timmy, whatever his fucking name is. I know like very few players, but He was one of the ones on my radar. Looks pretty nasty. I think I agree with this pick over Scoot. Now, number three is Scoot to the Blazers. Now, what do you guys think about the Blazer situation? I've heard a lot of talk of this pick being traded. I heard if the pick is made, what are they doing with the rest of the roster? And it was made. So, what's the move here, guys? What are we doing with the Blazers?
I think they're gonna move on from Dame. I mean, I think it's about time. I mean, I think Scoot seems like the real deal. I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of buying into him the most, uh, over Wemby as well. And yeah, I think. I mean, he can
Scoot
shoot.
over
He
Wemby.
got defense.
Hmm.
I mean, to me, he was the obvious second pick, but
Okay.
MJ drafted Brandon Miller, so
like
notorious bad drafter.
I mean, fair. I'm looking at Malik Monk though, and as a Kings fan, he was good. So, mm.
Not really comparable here.
Hey, no,
Um,
he was just saying Michael Jordan picks, and this one is one of the ones that are up there. LaMelo's a Michael Jordan pick. We'll see how that turns out.
I
I
like LaMelo.
I love LaMelo.
I think also that Dame is probably going to be the one gone. They have too many guards. Is Anthony? Like Anthony's in the picture with Scoot, both
He's a
around the same
bucket.
size. But where's Damian Lillard in this lineup? I just don't know if it's happening.
I think he's going to the Heat.
I mean, they would have to trade Hero at least, and a lot of other stuff, a lot of picks, I'd imagine. Um,
I don't think they're trading picks. I don't think. I
Hero,
think they might sign and trade these. I think they might sign and trade these undrafted players too. That's got them some value.
I don't know.
Oh wait, maybe I don't know if they can sign and trade them, but you know what I mean, though. I mean,
Yeah.
somehow they're going to end up on.
I
The
don't know.
Blazers.
Like Caleb Martin,
Yeah.
Hero has to be in it. There's no way. Plus, Dame makes like 48 million. Got to get to that salary, or at least kind of close to it.
Well, they got to keep Jimmy and Bam.
Yeah, they need the big three of them. But I don't know. I kind of think he stays in Portland. Honestly, they get rid of Simmons, right?
Anthony Simons.
Simons. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think maybe they chop him. They got to chop one of them. But they're not going to just give Dame away for nothing. He doesn't have a no trade clause, so it's not like we're Beal where they had to kind of bend to his will. So obviously they're going to treat him well because he's Mr. Portland. But weirder things have happened in the NBA.
Even Portland wants him to leave. Well, I don't know if they like want him to leave, but they're like okay if he does.
Yeah, I've seen people. Did you see that guy on draft night with the trade Dame jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more just like it's not like he's get him out of here. They're more like you can leave, sir. It's
Yeah.
we're okay with it. And
You tried.
you can't say he did it, man. That motherfucker was ripping. But Scoot number 3, I think another move needs to be made before the deadline before I really make my prediction on the Blazers, but I like the pick overall. I think that was the no-brainer after Brendan Miller pick. Now, number 4 and number 5 are the Thompson twins. Now, these guys, very, very interesting case. Where'd they go? It's something like
It's overtime elite.
overtime elites. Yes, that shit was.
Now is that a real school or is that just kind of like a prep academy for a year? It's like a travel team.
Yeah, but it's like a league. Like obviously they have like a it's I don't even fully understand all the alternatives to college now. People are going
I don't either.
overseas. People are going overseas. I understand that that's a different league. But overtime elite, I was like, is that a league? And it's not. It's like a program. I don't understand overtime elite, but people are essentially just wanting to get paid, like after high school, but before the NBA.
Rightfully so. Rightfully
Yes.
so.
So the Thompson twins held through because some people going overseas like LaMelo initially thought would hurt their stock, but these kids are honestly paving the way. Screw Henderson with the G League. Vic going to France in some random off time to get some games in. Like, I'm liking the alternatives to college basketball. I'm not gonna lie, because college basketball always throws me for a loop too. Some players will be so fucking good while sucking, kind of sucking, not sucking, but Devin Booker was all right on Kentucky. He was never like the guy, but he was the guy.
Wasn't he on the bench?
For one of their good teams, I think he eventually started, but like the team that was like really good, Devin Booker, yeah, was like not starting on it.
Yeah, that was like the peak runs of the early 10s when like Kyrie wasn't too far away from then.
Well, you're talking. We're talking about Kentucky is what he was on. You're thinking of Duke. But I mean, early 2010s is like Anthony Davis. Uh, this is I'm trying to think of old Kentucky teams.
On that team,
John
right?
Wall, DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh,
Like
Yeah, Boogie.
these are like I mean, De'Aaron Fox was somewhere in there too. Like, yeah, these people were nasty. But the Thompson twins, I heard they're both really good. I heard that one of them is I say one of them because I didn't watch Overtime Elite. Throw my hands up, fucking. But
I didn't either.
when I look at the highlights and analysis, this guy is fucking ripping. Chill out.
damn.
And then, all right, so I'd never watched Overtime Elite, but I heard one's a better playmaker. Look at this guy. One's a better playmaker. I think his name was Amen. I think the one that got
Yeah.
picked first.
Yeah.
Really good playmaker. These guys are like fucking 6'8", ball handlers. Like that's the new meta. People love tall as point guards essentially, and this is what both of them can pretty much be. Just like tall ass point guards.
Who
One
knows? Ben Simmons might come back.
Ben Simmons wasn't when he was supposed to be a point guard, but we're gonna ignore Ben Simmons right now. Let's see the fits. The Rockets got the more playmaking one, and that's where I think it gets interesting. That's where I'm like, that's Jalen Green. That could possibly be James Harden, Sengun. Like these guys could be so good. I think Kevin Porter Jr. is probably out at this point. This is also what I'm kind of thinking about that. I think he's kind of fallen out of favor with this pickup of another guard. They're going to obviously keep Jalen. I think Kevin's probably going somewhere, and he could be good in another team. What do you guys think about this Rockets team? With this Rockets pickup? Maybe you even want to talk about the other Thompson more, Azor. What do you think of the Thompson twins?
I'm kind of in the same boat. Obviously, I didn't watch Overtime Elite either. Both seem pretty good. Both seem athletic as hell. The Rockets, they're gonna be pretty good with or without James Harden, if assuming the young players kind of step up at all. But yeah, Kevin Porter Jr., who really, that's kind of a nothing burger compared to these like top round picks that they have. So yeah, he's probably out.
Yeah, I gotta see them shoot. They shoot. I think Amen shoots 25% from three on like about 3 attempts a game. Not that good for a 3-point shooting league. And then, how do you pronounce it? Osar?
Osar, I think.
Osar shoots 30%. So I mean, a little better, and he shoots about 4 attempts a game. So I mean, it's not bad, but they can always increase, decrease depending on shooting coaches and stuff like that, player development. It seems like Rockets, they got good player development. What was the first one drafted? Pistons?
First one's drafted Rockets. Second one is the Pistons. Which
Yeah.
Okay.
what do you guys do? Do you guys have an opinion on the Pistons?
Not at all.
I think
No.
I think they probably have the worst player development I've seen in years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
they had a nothing season last year with Cade going down. They're like, okay, let's just see what we got in Jalen Duran, whatever his name is. He's nasty. But other than that, yeah, I don't have a ton of love for the Pistons. I kind of think
they pick a play and something, maybe you'll start taking them seriously. But yeah, they're a big nothing.
they're like a little worse off than the Rockets for me, which is like the Rockets have much more upside, even with the new hire of the coach. I don't even know the Pistons situation. I can't really elaborate on their coaching situation and stuff either.
I feel like they just close their eyes and go up and down the top 10 and pick whoever their finger lands on. Honestly, it seems like they just don't know who to draft every single year.
I don't think this is a bad pick, but I think
No, I'm not hating on this pick.
But if he's not good in Detroit, you're also not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of how I
like
feel too.
It's almost like in fantasy when we pick like a 1 through 5 they'll pick like maybe 3 5s and then 2 small forwards. I'm like, what is this? But yeah,
All right. Well, I think that's enough about the Thompson twins. I know none of us watch Overtime Elite. The highlights, they look really good though, and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with the Pistons and Rockets to really find out which one of these twins is better. Because I don't know. People have these
yeah. Can I make
substances
one?
that amen.
Can
All
I
right,
make
keep
one
going.
point? Sorry, my bad.
Go for it.
Also, I don't know the level of competition in Overtime Elite. I mean, it's got to be fairly new, so they can't be having like they're not going to have comp in
They're,
that
they
super
probably
new league, right? Like,
there's nothing saying they couldn't. Uh,
I agree.
yeah, I think they probably play some good competition. Uh,
I just personally don't know the level of competition. Like, I've never seen like it's so new to me, and I don't know anything about it. I really got to look into it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Next pick, the Orlando Magic. They pick Anthony Black here, and I have some opinions about this. Do you guys want me to start off, or?
Go on, go ahead.
All right, so I really like what Anthony Black brings to the table. I think another one of those like tall point guards, great, great playmaker, ball handler. But where does he go? He goes to fucking Orlando, where they draft people like Cole Anthony, like Jalen Suggs. They had the reemergence of Markel Fultz. Those were 3 point guards already. Is Anthony Black the fourth point guard? They signed Gary Harris. That's 5 guards I could think of off the top of my head that just play on this team. They have the Wagners, Paolo, and Wendell Carter. I think I think that's like the extent of their bigs, but they're just like all guards. And their idea in the draft is to get another guard. I think they're confusing, and I thought they would trade last year when they had Suggs, Cole Anthony, and Markel Fultz all in the fold. But no, we'll just add another point guard to this. And I think he's a really good player. I think his time is going to be hindered because all these people are very comparable to his skill level. Where is Suggs in this rotation? Who do you guys start?
Always injured. That's where he is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows what they're doing? I heard this was a reach. They could have gone this guy probably at 11, because I think they have a second pick down the road.
They did.
So yeah, it's a little weird. But I mean, 6'7" point guards. There's probably not a ton of those.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I guess it's just a very Orlando pick for sure.
I think they might be moving on from Cole Anthony. I've heard I saw some things about Cole Anthony possibly getting traded. I mean,
you get rid of Cole Anthony, only
there,
Cole Anthony. You get rid of just Cole Anthony, you still have 4 guards.
Yeah,
who
I mean,
I think are all good enough to start, man. Get Markel out of there and play him.
He's Markel Fultz. I mean, and I think Fultz's contract ends this year, maybe. So maybe it's a backup for that, but still weird.
Mm-hmm. I think he's a really good player. I heard it's a reach too, but I really liked Anthony Black. I liked him as a prospect. The little college basketball I saw was always like end of the year tournament, not the March Madness tournament, the ones where it's like the SEC championship and like each conference tournament. And I saw him play for Arkansas, and he fucking balled out. I think yeah, it's a reach, but also I'm mad at Orlando for drafting him. I think he'll do good with this cast, but I think their roster consumption is too inflated right now with guards. I said consumption. I meant construction. Jesus Christ. That's my opinion about Anthony Black. We can move on from Anthony Black. Next, technically,
we can move on.
The Pacers, but they had a swap, and it became the Wizards.
Well, they did pick the person before, and they traded it. Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the case.
I'm not sure if I even want to try this name. Bilal Kalabali, something like that.
Bilal Koulibaly, yeah.
Yeah,
Bilal.
whatever.
People just keep saying Bilal.
That works. I kind of like this pick. I'm not gonna lie. It's a project, but we're gonna suck for a while, so we got time. Foreign guys are the new rage. Could be Giannis. He's 6'7". His family members are like 7'2" and 6'9", so he could technically grow a little more. I couldn't find his weight, but I'm sure he could probably put on some weight of muscle. He's only 18, so I'm okay. I don't think there's.
I love the pick. Vic Wembanyama was talking this guy up heavy. He said,
"Well, yeah, French guy teammates, that's for sure."
He played on the same French team. I feel like the top, because what pick is this? This is technically 7. I feel like the top.
This is I know it is technically 7, right?
Yeah. So I think the top 6 guys are mostly kind of like ball dominant players. Well, I think Bilal is a slasher. You're gonna have Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole be your like playmakers, the ones at the top, starting each set. Bilal is that guy making that cut. Good athletic ability, tall, known to be a great defender, known to be a very good defender, good athlete. I think this is very good for the Wizards. Again, I'm loving this Wizards offseason. 6'8".
Yeah, but again, only 18, so
that's some size.
Probably will some way.
He maybe got a couple to 3 inches left.
I mean, then we're talking basically Victor territory almost. Which, not to say they're the same beast by any means.
Of course.
But no, I like it. And then all we gave up really was 2 of those two of those second rounders.
Yeah, the fucking draft swaps.
Yeah, so whatever. We could basically write those off as nothing. And then they picked Jarris Walker.
Yeah. So this guy was known to be, if the top 6 were ball handlers and Bilal I would call a slasher, Jarris Walker was like a guy who can guard 1 through 5, like a defensive juggernaut. This guy is physical, he's athletic, keeps up laterally with the small guys, and then gets up with the big men.
And this is
for Pacers?
This
is
Jarris
Walker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
First power forward off the board and the number 1 overall ranking by ESPN, which who knows what that means, but
exactly.
35. Yeah, I'm sure he's a beast. He had 11.2 points, 6.8 rebounds, and then 1 assist, 1 block each game. So that's not bad for college. That's a lot of work, especially since power forwards usually don't really control the ball much in college.
And I know I'm talking up his defensive skills, and the game is 2-way. They think, from what I saw, his jumper was not anything crazy, but they like his form. They're saying that he could still be good. is what they're trying to say about him. Very, again, like, these athletes are insane downhill. He's one of those players where if you get him running on a fast break, like, he's going up every time.
He's got great finishing.
Keep going.
I'm curious. Are they running him at the 4? Or are they going to run him at the 5? And if they are they moving on from Miles Turner as well? Because he has rim protecting.
They've been trying to get rid of him for a while, bro.
So I remember when the Pacers drafted Benedict, I was like, he's gonna start and Buddy 6-man, and that was just like not the case. They just like ran Benedict on the bench the whole year. I don't actually know how they're gonna play this, if that makes sense.
I think Miles is a free agent.
Like right
because
now,
they were trying to trade him last season. I think he is. I have to
but I thought they re-signed. I thought they like signed him to a contract.
They they definitely did not re-sign him.
All right. I thought they
It's either
signed him last year.
firing.
I think that's why they were trying to trade him last year, because they wanted to get a return for him.
When did he do this? He signed a 2-year, $40 million. When did he do that?
2-year, $40 million.
He signed it during the season last year. So remember all those trade talks, and they ended up extending him. That's what I was saying. Like at the end of all of that, they kept him, and not only that, he's playing this year and next year. So he's not a free agent. He's there.
Okay.
But so they might
He's
play
not
him
that-
on the. He's good. I think he's
Are
very
they
good.
benching Miles Turner though?
No, I mean they've done it before when Sabonis was there.
Yeah.
Dude, I love Miles Turner. I really wanted him and Buddy Hield. I really wanted him on the Lakers.
On where? The Lakers. We know. We know.
I was so upset when they didn't trade Russ for that.
Well, Russ and their last 2 picks for like the whole decade, but
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's move on from Jarace Walker. Goes to the Pacers. Don't know if he's gonna start or not. We'll see when that happens. Next pick, Taylor Hendricks to the Jazz, who also after the draft pick up John Collins in a trade.
yeah. For like a second round pick. What a
right.
haul.
They were waiting out that whole time, and then they gave rid of him for that deal, for that package. It's a weird one to say the least, but it's kind of the position of the guy they drafted here, Taylor Hendricks. Kind of like a big man here. I'm curious what they're gonna do with him. But Utah, like they already have like who's their big man? Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen.
He's their center technically. Then they have Laurie at power forward.
But would this guy play? Yeah, would this guy play the 3 with John Collins?
Yeah, what is he gonna play? Not really, but
yeah, it's a
positionless basketball.
Yeah, man. Everyone has their own idea. Whenever I keep bringing up these numbers, I always think about that it's just what my interpretation of basketball is. Because now people are just like, we're running 3 centers. We're the Minnesota Timberwolves, and we play Cat and Rudy Gobert. You're like, that is so weird. Oh, and let's also sign Naz Reid for 2 years, $40 million. 3 fucking centers that they have like $400 million invested.
He got paid. He got paid.
Like people are running insane lineups now, so I guess I can't be surprised. But for me, I just look at a very good player like Taylor Hendricks, top 10 worthy, 100%. To be just very weirdly used in this Jazz rotation. But we'll see. I more want to talk about who was picked at 10. If you guys have any opinions on 9.
Nothing. The Jazz, I mean, what are they gonna do?
They're weird. They started hot and then fell off and then fell off.
Heavy.
Yeah, they really collapsed that second half of the year. But what I don't know if we were recording, maybe we were. When we were talking about Kentucky point guards, well, I trust this Kentucky point guard a lot right now. Dude named Cason Wallace gets drafted to the oh shit. Where did the pick go? Yeah. Gets drafted to the Mavericks, but don't tell me. Actually tell me.
OKC.
Traded to OKC or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. So this guy is small, Cason Wallace. So I guess Shea will play the 2. Giddey kind of plays the point guard in that team. I mean, Shea starts every set, but the playmaker, the passer, is Giddey. So I know Cason to be a scorer, a good playmaker when called upon, but also a scorer. So I think this could be a pretty good fit here in OKC. But I want to hear your guys' opinions. What do you guys think about Cason Wallace?
Go ahead, Matt.
That's it. That's
Okay.
it.
All right.
No, I got it. I saw that he did have a really strong tournament before, and they lost to Kansas in the first round. So, I don't know. I don't really know a ton about this player. He is definitely smaller. But again, OKC, they kind of have a ton of stuff going on. Eventually, they're not going to be able to sign all these, top round picks they have.
Mhm.
So, I'm not really sure where they go from here with that.
I think I think if we go into roster construction, we're going to think about weird things all the time with this team. But uh, I just think this lineup of Kaysen, Giddy, Shea, Jalen Williams, and then if they just pick up like one like natural center, this team could actually be crazy. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel yet. They kind of play centerless. Is how
Yeah.
they play like now.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not really familiar with this center, to be honest. But I mean, OKC is notoriously pretty good at drafting players, so I'm trusting the process with it. We'll see how
Hmm.
he plays in the regular season.
All right. Perfect. Perfect. Now, that's the top 10. I think that's good enough that what we covered. But let's now talk about our favorite teams, how they did in the draft. We had obviously, the Wizards had their pick, so that's most of the talk there. But let's hear about the Lakers here, Matt. This is the only time I'm going to ask for it, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't cover the second round pick. To be honest, I'm surprised we even had picks in this draft. Actually had to look and see who, if we even had a pick, because I swear the Pelicans owned our picks maybe until next year. I think I
Yeah,
thought,
this was
but
probably one
so
they trade.
what was that?
This is probably one of the ones they aren't allowed to trade because you can't trade
Okay,
back.
okay, all right. Well, that makes sense. But yeah, Jalen Hood Chafino, I believe it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I was looking at his highlights. He's pretty good off the pick and roll. He's got a nice midi. He can shoot. I mean, he has passing vision, but I'm biased a little. Are you guys giving takes on this player too, or
So I am
if you guys know?
I'm kind of familiar. I'm kind of familiar with him, but not really. I think the players I do know more in that position. There was a Cam Whitmore. I thought that would be a good fit for the Lakers. Uh, Cam Cam played at Villanova, and he played a lot of, I would call, winning basketball. Well, Jalen kind of was
Horrible
able to
medical.
he was able to show out in Indiana, and I think you guys are also really desperate for like a natural point guard that's not D'Angelo Russell too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, he can also shoot too. Like
yeah, but so
he
can
shoots
Devo.
30s, 30s. What can he do in the playoffs? Okay. Anyways, we
Yeah, I
move now.
know, I know, I
He
know.
shoots 36 from three. I mean, and in these young guys, they don't shoot well from three. So I think maybe early signs of shooting three is a good sign. I
Hmm.
would like to think,
Yeah,
but I want to see him on the roster. I want to see how he plays in the summer league if he plays, stuff like that.
yeah. I think rookies should play in the summer league. I know some good ones really like to hold back from injury, but I think he should
Boo.
play. We talked about the Wizards, so I'll talk about my good old Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets actually had
What pick
two.
did you guys have?
We had two first round picks. One we got in the Kevin Durant trade, and ours. So we picked 21st, and our first one we picked 21st and 22nd. We were back to back with ourselves, which is funny. So the first guy we pick is a guy named Noah Clowney, a player from Alabama. Uh, AKA, we need another big man that's not Nick Claxton. Day'Ron Sharp is okay, but not a natural center. Nick Claxton wasn't even supposed to be a natural center, but we kind of forced him to be, and he ended up being good at it. But here's another guy where not a natural center. I think he's like 6'10", so he's got height, but kind of skinny. Another fucking twig. But Klassen was twig and got pretty jacked within 3 years of his NBA career. So Klassen was also a second round pick or end of first round. I think a second round pick out of Georgia. So
I'm confused. Claxton, your pick?
no, it's not Claxton, Noah Clowney, but I see a lot of similar like trajectories, or not trajectories, a lot of similar like play time in his future. He probably won't get a ton year one, but he'll get those backup center minutes when need be. Actually, we might even sign a veteran to play the backup center minutes, and he'll just watch. That's what we did with Claxton and DeAndre Jordan and Andre Drummond and all those fucking losers. But
how does their free throw percentage compare?
well, they're centers, man. You don't look at that. You don't look at free throw percentage with centers, man. Ignore Noah Clowney. But here's the bigger story. At the 22nd pick, we get a guy named Dariq Whitehead, who Dariq Whitehead was the number one prospect, high school prospect in the nation going into this year. For Duke, he had an ankle surgery, missed the beginning of the year, came back to look a little. People kept saying looked a little sluggish. Got 8 points in 20 minutes per game, and also shot 42% from three. So made an all freshman list, and he was supposed to be the guy though. He was supposed to come in and like he was the number one rated recruit. Brandon Miller, going out of high school, was 17, and Dariq Whitehead was number one. So what also hinders this is that a little before the draft here, he got a surgery on the ankle again to repair some of the mistakes from apparently the first surgery. So it's a health concern. First guy into the 21st position, project, raw talent, skinny. Second guy, injury prone, but number one high school player in the country when he was healthy. Had a stint with Duke that people said he looked but he didn't play that much and only played 20 minutes a game because it was mid-season. Duke also loved playing this like white guy at center. Duke was annoying this year. But I really do think that Dariq could be very good. The number one high school prospect, I want to let you know, even like the year prior was Chet. The year prior to that was Cade Cunningham. Like these are all top 2 like NBA draft picks. Like Rivals.com saw this guy and he was really good. And if you were to watch some of his highlights, you would think he was really nasty. But the recency bias is going to stay there. It's very, what have you done for me lately, league? And the injury concern is also there. The Nets very much need a player like him though. He's very good at scoring the ball, good at passing. He's got height on him, 6'8". I think him and Mikal Bridges would be very good together. Mikal is gonna play with us. He's gonna play like a shooting guard. He'll play like a 2. And yeah, we'll see. That's all I'll say about the Nets. The Kings got a guy I never heard of from Marquette named Oliver Maxine Prosper. I know people are going to get mad at that, the Marquette fans, but that's my one update about the Kings. I'm like, that's okay. They need a big man. He's a power forward, possible center. We need someone to give a break for Sabonis. That's not Alex Len. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinion about that. My opinion on the late picks of the draft as well. Grady Dick.
Okay.
Grady, just some more things to cover here. Grady Dick, supposed to be top 10 pick, possibly top 10 pick, goes 13 to the Raptors. Interesting. Kind of a shooter.
Horrible jacket.
Horrible outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's all I got.
People remember shit like that.
What did he wear?
It was like a red neon, like bright red sequence like suit. Mm-hmm. Like it was like neon or some shit. It was.
Look it up after. It's kind of funny.
Oh, is he a white boy?
Yep.
Yes. Very much.
Oh, so. That was terrible.
That was him.
People said that was People said that was worse than that guy on the Knicks with the Fortnite outfit, with the Fortnite suit when
Kevin
he like
Knox.
opened it from the side.
Yeah, it
He
was
had like
Kevin
Fortnite,
Knox.
I think. I was like, oh my god, what are you wearing, dude?
Yeah, that's funny.
Evan is trying to get sponsored for some V-Bucks.
Keegan Murray's brother, Chris Murray, also went to Iowa, got drafted in the first round this year by the Blazers. So he's joining Scoot. That's kind of fun. Just thought I'd share that as well. That's kind of all I have here on the NBA draft. Again, don't really watch college basketball too much, but did some research for this top 10 list. Did some research for the back half because I want to see what the Nets could get. And Dariq Whitehead is something I'm really looking at. It could be tough.
I think that that kid that Drake took his mom on a date. What's his
Oh,
name? Amari Bailey,
Amari
maybe.
Bailey. Yeah,
Drake's
just
his stepdad, but I mean I just had to point it out that he got drafted.
there was also another player. Last thing I want to say. Last thing. Guy in the second round.
No, you're good.
Supposed to be a guy. His name is Amani Bates. Who's supposed to be like a top 5 prospect. Dad did like a Lonzo thing, pulled him out of high school to put him in like his own like made up league, but probably way worse than LeVar, honestly. And then he tried to go play at Memphis and was injured, and then had got no playing time, had to transfer. This guy has had a tough go of it. He was supposed to be the next Kevin Durant when he was in high school, but he's now drafted second round, like 49th pick to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's the last thing I want to mention. Know that name though. Name's Amani Bates. Could be nasty. It's honestly not even that shocking to say his name. He really had a ton of hype around him. That's about it.
I
I
mean
think I
that's what's
covered.
nice about this is the you get to rewatch these players that we all list and stuff like that. So I mean, to be honest, I really haven't paid attention to college players. I don't really like watching college, so I
Mhm.
mean, looking at this is kind of cool. You get to see like what you thought of them when they were young, when they got drafted, and then see how they progress.
I agree. All right, so I think that's about it for the coverage of the NBA draft. Tyler did add a fun note in here, and I want to do this. I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot by saying this, but way too early future bet is what Tyler wrote in here, and I'm down. Another bold prediction at the end of the epi.
There you go.
Matt, do you have
Okay.
one? Do you have a bold prediction here for us?
When you mean, are we talking about draft? Are we talking about in general? Or are we talking about
Draft.
trades?
It could be a bet. It could be like
Yeah, I did all mine from FanDuels, is what I had in mind. But
okay,
Okay,
so
whatever.
all right.
so yeah, like
Go
someone
ahead.
to
Give me,
make the
yeah, go
playoffs or
ahead.
something. Oh,
Take it
yeah,
away,
let
Ty.
Tyler go
Yeah,
first.
So
yeah.
I value here. So it's not going to be, obviously you could pick, the Nuggets, and that would be, only like plus 150. That's not really worth it. So taking after Brandon Miller, finals champ, the Hornets, and that was plus 50,000. So I'm putting $1 on that one. I think that's a perfect steal right there. Lots of value. What could go wrong? You know,
Plus 50K.
yeah, that's an easy 500 right there.
Value, baby.
Easy, easy. He
You
said
like that?
easy. Okay,
I love that.
easy,
The Golden
easy.
State finals champ for plus 1,500, which is much more realistic. There's at least a pathway there. And then the last one was Memphis West champs for plus 1,100. Maybe Jaw grows up and, now with Marcus Smart, maybe they crack the case. So those are the ones
25 game suspension though.
they got Marcus Smart. They'll be fine.
That I think there's something weird about the Grizzlies having a good record without Josh still. I think he's missed time in the last 2 seasons where they like still had great stretches, but they did lose Tyus Jones, who was a big factor in that.
Tyus Jones.
But they did pick a Marcus Smart, so it will be interesting. It will be interesting. I do like that bet. I'll do a fun one here. I'll do
Let me look at these lines. Let's look at these lines.
I don't even have a line. I just know it's going to be high. It's Ben Simmons, most improved player. It's going to be the bounce back.
No, okay.
It's going to be the bounce back of the century over here in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Ben Simmons
anything
is
more,
in the lab. Huh?
anything more than 0 is pretty good.
Well, he had more than 0 last year. It was like a 7-7-7 line. That was Ben Simmons.
Hey,
7-7-7.
That was
The
like when
late-
he was starting, and I think it got worse after we like started playing him as like the backup center. Also,
Yeah, well,
the team is weird with
okay, no, go ahead.
Spencer Dinwiddie at point guard.
don't
So
think they would have that anyways, because that's not going to happen.
I love
I'm actually,
Spencer Dinwiddie. Oh, keep going. I keep cutting you off.
yeah, I was gonna say I love Spencer Dinwiddie too. I love his game. He was perfect. I think he was a perfect fit on the Mavericks because when Luka was getting doubled or something like that, you also had somebody who could take over, and I think Spencer Dinwiddie could take over. That's a very very long shot. Could. Do I think he's going to be dropping 30 points a game? No, I don't.
That's crazy. You have love for Dinwiddie as someone who had. I once had a Nets season where the best highlight of my season was Spencer Dinwiddie winning the skills challenge. that was the highlight
sad.
of the Brooklyn Nets season. But then Spencer Dinwiddie on the return, I don't know. I think he thinks he's like Penny Hardaway. I think he thinks he's like, I'll never get the respect I deserve. I'm actually gonna be those guys that real bucket getters remember. And that's like, I don't think they will. I think
You
Spencer
did
Dinwiddie is good.
permanent memory for winning the skills challenge.
But
So
that's because that's how sad we were. I was trying to point that out also. The skills
you're a real,
challenge shouldn't matter in your season at all.
you know his talent, bro.
Well, I don't like what
I
he
don't
is
think
right now. He was like, I'm okay to being a number 2 guy on this team. I'm like, Spencer, I don't want you to be the number 2 guy on this team. Give it to Cam Johnson.
Yeah,
Get the
I don't
ball
want
out
him
of
to
your
being
damn
the fourth
hands.
guy. Yeah.
Like he was that guy in Dallas because they needed. So they're like, someone please help Luca. Can someone just please help this guy? But I just don't. I think if Ben Simmons returns, I think I could get Spencer Dinwiddie to not play point guard on my favorite team. So I'm kind of hoping Ben looks good, and that's my prediction. Ben most improved. Book it.
Okay. I got Scoot Henderson taking Rookie of the Year.
Mm,
Probably the most realistic one.
Scoot.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
like it.
That's it. I had nothing to
That's.
say.
I mean, that's my. His game speaks for himself. I think he's a bucket. I mean, I think. I don't want to jinx Wemby because I want some talent out there, but I don't think he will play a full season. He's he might have a Chet situation, but Chet could win it too. But I think I got Scoot. I mean, if they trade Dame, he could be. He's getting all the shots. He's getting all the tick there. What's stopping him?
I mean, hey, I think that's not a horrible pick. If it's not like Vic, runaway favorite, but if it's not Vic, I would even say like Scoot should have better odds than Brandon Miller. Like Scoot is a good player, and he'll have more. I don't know if he'll have more burn without Dame, because Brandon actually has. He's gonna get like a lot of guaranteed work too. But I like the mug today, Matt. The mug's fun.
Oh, dude, the monkey,
Yes, it's cool.
right? That thing is
Yeah.
nice.
But I'm gonna go back on these and write down all our bets to see if we actually hit on any of these. But I don't know if Tyler's were serious bets either, though. He did bring up Hornets championship.
No, what I would actually put money on. I'll probably put money
You
on the
gotta put money on it.
Put money on which one?
Golden State one. That seems realistic.
I agree. Okay. So I think that's all we got for today, boys. Thank you guys for chatting it up. And thanks everyone for watching. Come back next week where I think we should do our top 10 list of last season or going into next season, or maybe some free agents we could look at because free agency market's about to start ripping soon. And I know that I want the Nets to be active. I know you want the Lakers to be active. I bet Tyler
Yep.
wants to sign bums. So for tanking, yeah. See, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you, thank you.
sounds
All
about
right,
right.
all right, boys. I appreciate y'all for the time. Oh my god, my animals are going crazy right now. You see this too? But appreciate y'all for the time, and I'll talk to you guys next Monday. All right,
Next week.
peace, everybody.